it'll be up to Colin. He'll need to decide. It's going to be a tough night for him, so I'm not going to be putting any words into his mouth.
Will you stay in touch with him?
Oh, yeah, I'm good friends with Colin, and I think he's done a fantastic job. I know there's huge swings, and we saw it a bit with John Howard, the each time factor with John Howard. He lost. Look back, how do people regard Johnny Howard? Pretty well, don't they? I think the same will happen with Colin. They'll see the massive transformation we've seen in this state, led by Colin Barnett, and I'm proud of him.
We might come back to the issue of party leadership in just a moment, but...
Well, Labor can breathe a sigh of relief because Mark McGowan's not going into the crusher either. He's got a pretty healthy result there, 61.1% with 20% counted. He's not going to lose his seat. The new Premier is safe as houses. At least the person we assume will be the new Premier on the results we've seen so far.
Can't see any leadership challenges
people tonight, one way or another, about the work that they've done in the campaign and how good they've been in government or whatever. The truth of the matter is that this is a superb performance by Mark. He's been there as opposition leader, which is a species of hell, for 8 years, in which you'll always have behind you disgruntled folk, in front of you arrogant folk. It's enormously hard to keep your balance. And he's come, and one of the reasons I think he's made a sterling effort in the campaign is that in a period of time when people think they ought to throw a government out, a question arises: has the leader of the other side the capacity to govern? Is he safe hands? And they've arrived at a pretty firm conclusion that he is safe hands. And so he's...
Is it safe though, Kim? I know you've been a mentor, but with all due respect, but is it safe because it's boring? Is it more about what he hasn't done wrong or hasn't done rather than what he has done?
Well, often people will say that oppositions don't win elections, governments lose them. And I think basically that's true. A government shouldn't lose after 2 elections. If they're effectively led and they're running the state properly, they ought to be able to go to 3 or 4. Because what usually happens is the opposition falls apart. And they stay falling apart for quite a period of time. So this is quite a quick win back, particularly after a devastating defeat. Now, whether he is a charismatic politician or not, he's clearly a politician who can build. If he can keep his team together, make it credible, and get there. I'm not going to simply wander around being a propagandist for him, but I had to say one thing about that tonight, because it's rather too easy to dismiss an achievement like that.
I might just, sorry, Laurie, I'm just going to draw your attention to the scoreboard there, because the target is 30, and Labor now only 3 away, 27 on the tally at the moment. But look, one of the few shining lights this evening for the Libs.
Hillary's. Yeah, the independent there, Rob Johnson, of course, had been a Liberal Member of Parliament, a former minister, been in Parliament, I think, 21 years and fell out with the party last year. Peter Katzenbarnis, I think, thought he faced a pretty big fight against the incumbent, but he's doing quite well there. And Rob Johnson he's for the crusher, I'm afraid.
He is. And
Peter Katzenbarnis actually came from Melbourne. He was a member of the upper house in Victoria, and now he's a member of the lower house in West Australia.
Yeah, let's actually check in with him now. Peter Katzenbarnis, good evening.
Good evening, Tim, and good evening to everyone watching out there.
You can hear the cheers behind you there, Peter. You might be one of the few electorates at the moment, amongst Liberals anyway, where you're hearing such raucous applause.
Well, look, we're very happy with the campaign we've run.